They start a 3-game homestand today against the Utah Jazz. Can the Bulls finally get back in the win column against a former Bull who's coming in to try to kill the team? We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host here, Haize, and it's game day. I don't have the energy right now to game day, but you already know what it is. The Bulls face off against the Utah Jazz. Now, this is a team that isn't playing amazingly well. They actually come in with the same exact record as the Chicago Bulls, so there's that. They are a team that rebounds the ball pretty well. They allow a lot of points as well on the defensive side of the ball, and they're not too effective on the offensive side of the ball themselves. So there are some avenues and some lanes that the Bulls can look to take advantage of to try to win this game. But the problem is with that is that we've had that against a couple of opponents, right? And you have the extra motivation from Lauri Markkanen in this game. He always comes in here and tries to kill the Chicago Bulls. So the Bulls, who don't really play with a lot of heart at times, and so because of that, it is what it is. So we got to see what that's going to end up being for the Chicago Bulls. Can they weather what Lauri Markkanen is going to come in here trying to do against the Chicago Bulls? Because he's not going to make it easy. He's out here. He tries to kill the Chicago Bulls and Nikola Vucevic. I think when he dunked it on Vucevic's head before. So we want to see how that shakes out for the Bulls. They got a tall test in front of them tonight, and we'll see if they can get it together. Let's hope that they can. We don't know for sure. But let's see how you guys are feeling about it. We got Albert in the building, says Bulls should do like the Cubs and fire Donovan. I mean, listen, that would be the most sensible thing. But again, he's one of the good old boys now when it comes to Jerry Reinsdorf. He's one of Jerry's kids. So we don't know how that's going to work out. Shout out if y'all know what the Jerry's Kids references is into. I want to see how deep y'all knowledge go. Please, Bulls, just win, please. I mean, listen, I would love to be able to come on here after this game tonight and talk about a dub. I would love to be able to talk about that. Tay Hollins in the building says, this is a game we could win and build off the momentum, but the Bulls have to want this game. That's a fact, right? Because, listen, the Bulls have 3 games straight at home, and that means that they don't have to travel for quite a while, right? So hopefully that means that they can work on some things, because keep in mind, when teams are traveling, they don't tend in to get a lot of practices, and they get some shoot-arounds in, but they don't get a lot of practices. So let's hope that maybe being able to stay at home, build up some camaraderie between those guys, and let's hope that they can really tough it out on this homestand and win a few games, right? We got Utah today, we got Phoenix on Wednesday, and we got Detroit Sunday. So those are all going to be tough matchups for the Chicago Bulls, even though they're all at home. So we'll see how this shakes up. If they can get some momentum going, maybe it can help them, because in a week from today, we go to Milwaukee. So that's not even a lot of travel for the Chicago Bulls. And then after that, they have another 4-game homestand. So the Chicago Bulls really aren't going to be traveling a lot from now until the end of November. They have a 4-game away trip, road trip to OKC, Toronto, Brooklyn, and Boston after that second homestand. So the Bulls don't have a lot of travel here coming up. The one time they're traveling before November 22nd is to Milwaukee. We all know that's a hop, skip, and a jump away from Chicago. So hopefully the team's going to be able to take advantage of some things there. Let's see. So what are we thinking? Dub or L? Listen, I don't predict wins or losses. I don't know. Coolest JB. Oh, Coolest JB, you've been here. I don't predict wins or losses for this team. I've moved away from that over the last couple of years. So we'll see. We need to be on point tonight, especially the offense. Yes, because the Utah Jazz are not a good defensive team. If we lose, it doesn't really matter. We're already at rock bottom, can't get lower than, oh no, it can definitely, listen, I don't know how long you've been a Chicago Bulls fan, Shane O'Mac, but it can get a lot worse. It can get a lot worse. Paul Zipser, who we're high on. What's up, Bulls fam? Let's go for the W today. I mean, they should be going for the W every single day, right? The Jazz record is the exact same as our record, King Solomon. They are 2-5 on the season. So yeah, that's why I said, like, listen, the Jazz definitely got some advantages that they can take, mismatches that they can take advantage of, but they haven't really been playing too well. D-Dub says, Haize, I know I shouldn't worry since it's so early in the season, but we are tied for the second worst record in the NBA. I'm worried that we may not get back to 500 if we sink much further. Listen, and that's a valid concern, not even just because of the record, but because of the play from the team, right? The play hasn't really given you much that really makes you feel like confident in their ability to turn it around, right? So there's definitely that aspect of it. So we'll end up seeing. We'll see what can happen from that. Robert says, which Bulls team will we see tonight? Listen, I don't know which one you're talking about. We've seen the same Bulls team every single game. A Bulls team with no heart. Even in the games that they've won, they had stretches of not having heart in certain quarters. What's good, Brody? Hope you're feeling well, decently tonight. Shout out to you, MC Season. I am feeling pretty all right. Mostly okay is what I'll call it. What up, Haize? Let's get this dub. C. Reg from Jack Holland. Agree with you on that one, brother. Let's go. Hopefully we can shoot better and feed Vooch. Listen, I tell you what, though, you got Walker Kessler. Now, while Walker Kessler isn't averaging anything amazing, he's only averaging like 6.5 rebounds, I think like 8 points per game, something like that. I could be a little off on the points per game. But that is the type of big that either can give Vooch trouble or Vooch can take advantage of. Walker Kessler is another big that doesn't really have nimble feet or anything like that. So, hopefully the one thing that kind of gives me concern is the 2 blocks per game Walker Kessler is averaging, right? But that's just not for Vooch. That's for everything in general. All right, I'm still a Bulls fan. I'm here for a good time. LOL. I have no more expectations. That's the best way to be with this team is no more expectations. Auntie Goon in the building says, nephew, what's the word? What's going on, Goon? Glad to have you in the building. Auntie, it's always better when Auntie's in the building. Ivan says, special needs. What? What you talking about on that one? I'm tired of these fake Bull supporters packing the season up when it's not even 10 games into the season. Listen, no, here's the thing. It's not fake Bull support. We got to stop labeling when people don't agree or see things with us. We throw out the word fake fan because at the end of the day, this Bulls team hasn't left much hope for their turnaround. When you really look at the play for the Bulls are 50-70 since the All-Star break in 2022. Keep in mind, that's the 21-22 season. We like 50-70, right? So I understand the Bulls fans that are looking down because this has been an ugly start and the offense is bad. You got Vooch, DeMar, and Zach all averaging some of the worst statistics of their careers right now, right? And that's our core 3. So I get what you're saying on that. And I'm not saying that you're wrong for saying, hey, how you guys jumping ship already. But when it comes down to it, this team it has a lot to be desired, So Billy going to throw that small ball lineup out there versus the Utah Bigs. No, and we don't typically play small a whole lot. We got Drummond, we got Vooch. Now, will we see some of the lineup where it has P. Will and Torrey Craig out there together? Probably. What do you think this front office will do if the team doesn't make the playoffs this season? Fire Billy Donovan. I hope so. Well, you know how you always say, see red if you can. Yeah, I don't see shit right now. That's hilarious. All right. Hoping the jokes on the pregame show didn't limit how long Haize stays on. Hoping the jokes that's funny. That's actually pretty hilarious. Jerry Lewis, no, that's actually not what I'm talking about. That's good. That's a good guess, though. I didn't think about that reference. I'm referencing WWF at the time when Jerry the King Lawler, when he used to be on the announce table, and then the son Brian Pillman would be in. I don't even think he was in what was it? What was the name of the group when he was with Scotty Tuhati? I can't even remember the name of the tag team. But before that tag team formed, anytime he came out there, they would say Jerry's Kids. So that's what I was referencing. But the Jerry Lewis one is real as well. One of the 2 things will happen tonight. The team will piss me off. The team will win the game. I think we all know which one is going to happen. Hint, it's not the second option. Well, Markel, I'll say this. There isn't also a third option that they do both. Right? Because that's this Bulls team. This Bulls team can absolutely piss us off and still find a way to win the game, right? The Bulls are going to come out with a nice win, and all the Bulls fans will be back on the wagon. Let's hope so. Listen, but like I said, I got to see a winning streak from this Bulls. What are you doing down here, Fluffy? But yeah. I'm betting that Laurie will have a big game. It's always play well against us. Yes, he does. He always plays very well against us. I would move Javon Carter, I guess is what you mean by that, to the starting lineup and move AC to backup point guard and use Io and Kobe White as the backup 2 and 3. No, listen, I like you got to let Kobe go through those. You got to let him go through the ups and downs, in my opinion. I feel like we have a very good deep squad. We just playing like buns. Listen, we got talent on the team, but it's not well coached very well, right? It has holes all up and down the roster, and we're not playing with a lot of heart right now. So, no, it is what it is. I love your channel from Ireland, bro. Shout out to David Healy. Glad to have you in the building, brother. Haize, full rebuild or just get younger by trading Vooch and DeMar. Listen, I don't think Vooch is going anywhere only because we don't have another center to really back up or replace anything Vooch has. Now, DeMar, I mean, it really comes down to what the record is by the All-Star break, in my opinion, because I just can't see you extending DeMar DeRozan with how this team is performing. Now, if it changed drastically by the All-Star break, maybe. And again, that's not because I'm blaming DeMar for what the Bulls' record is or is not, because I'm not. But I do think it comes down to, can you really double down further on this core with what we've seen so far this season? If only the Bulls can take notes from Cubs today. At least some GM and owner in Chicago that cares about winning, well, excluding the Blackhawks because they're rebuilding. Well, listen, just because you make a move doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the right move, but it is a great move for the Cubs. Even though I'm not a Cubs fan, I'm a Sox fan, which is even worse, right? Reginald Short says, too cool. Yeah, that's what it was. Too cool. There you go. There you go. Bulls got to put it on wax for me. They still Chicago bullshitters till they show different. We all got this damn talent. Hey, I agree with you, Auntie. Definitely agree with you on that one. Laurie going to have his yearly revenge game at the UC, but the role players will kill us in the end. I mean, listen, the role players from the Utah Jazz aren't doing a lot for them right now, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, really, they have 5 players averaging in double digits, only 1 player averaging 20 points per game. That's Laurie. Then you got John Collins and Jordan Clarkson both averaging over 14. You got Colin Sexton at 12 and THT with 10.9, so basically 11. Outside of that, if you're really looking at what role player can kill us, let's take a look at that. So Keontae George, I don't know if I feel confident in that. Walker Kessler, definitely Walker Kessler probably end up cooking us. Kelly Olynyk, he's killed us before, so I can see that happening. Chris Dunn, another revenge game possibility. I don't think he's out. Ochai Agbaji, that's the one who killed us last. I think we still ended up winning the game, but that's who killed us last time. It's probably going to be Ochai Agbaji if he's playing. If Los Angeles Clippers fall apart, would you trade for Ty Lue? You don't trade for coaches. You don't trade for coaches. So that's I think there's only been 2 coaches in like the last 22 years that have been traded for. You don't trade for coaches. Why? You don't give up assets for that, especially not where this team is. We have no second round picks to give. So I don't think Ty Lue is worth a first round pick. That's all we got to offer. So what's wrong with all our Chicago teams? We fucked up in the head. Hey, listen, Chicago's hurting right now. It's definitely hurting right now. Javon Carter and Torrey Craig have been amazing offseason additions, and Caruso and Drummond have been productive, but we're still losing. I don't get it. Is Billy Donovan or the mid-3 the problem? It's a combination of both. It's very rarely one thing. The mid-3 are all playing right now. They're shooting the worst they have in their careers for a long time. DeMar is shooting the worst he's had in 10 years. Zach LaVine's shooting the worst he's had since his first year in Chicago, and we know then he was coming back from an ACL injury. So it's a combination of that. But Billy Donovan taking out the hot hand, not making defensive adjustments, things like that are definitely part of it as well. Sydney says, hey, is it that bad that I'm kind of over this team? I just feel like maybe they'll call before 40 wins. I hope Acme will make changes soon. I hate the front office is so quiet. I mean, listen, front offices typically don't say a lot. They typically don't say a lot. So it doesn't surprise me that they're quiet. I don't care that they're quiet. I care about the results. If they're quiet and they come out with some results, be quiet all you got to be. Doc Rivers was traded. Yes, Doc Rivers was traded. He was the last one that was traded. Let me see. Like I said, I think it was 2 coaches in the last 22 years. I can't remember who the other one was. Let's see. Coaches traded in the NBA. That's NFL. I said NBA. Why are you showing me NFL coaches right now? So NBA, Doc Rivers was traded for a 2015 first round pick, and Stan Van Gundy was traded in 2007. Those are the only 2 coaches to be traded in NBA history. So you don't see a lot of coach trades. I said 2 in the last 22 years. There's been 2 in the whole history of the NBA that's been traded. That's crazy. If Chris Dunn has a revenge game against, I'm gonna be depressed as fuck. It wouldn't shock me. It literally would not shock me, right? It wouldn't shock me at all. Damn, tough being a Sox, Bulls, and Bears fan. Yes, Albert, that's my life right now. That's a Sox, Bulls, and Bears fan, and a Chicago Sky fan. Right? It sucks. It's been tough. It's been a tough year. I think he was traded for a first round pick. We are struggling, so it would be nice to get him. Oh, absolutely. I mean, you always want a dub, right? Unless you're clearly a tanking team, you always want a dub. Always. It always feels better to get a dub. This right now is tough where we sit right now. It sucks. It really sucks. Hey, but we got to take our medicine, man. Trade Raleigh. Why do every Chicago head coach suck and these fans don't see the problems with their franchises? No, I think a lot of people see the problems. I don't think any. If anything, I think people kind of see problems where there aren't any, but people absolutely see the problems. It's not the fans that don't see the problems. It's the front offices that don't see the problems. Billy pulls out the hot hand so often is giving me conspiracy paranoia. I mean, hey. What are your thoughts on Mike Budenholzer as a coach? I always thought teams look better under his coaching, like the Hawks and Bucks, but Milwaukee fans didn't seem to care for him much. Here's what, and this is why I always say we have a different perspective on coaches when there are coaches, because the Milwaukee Bucks fans feel the exact same way we felt about Billy Donovan. They feel that way about Mike Budenholzer, that he doesn't make adjustments. Like, yes, he got them that title, but that came in under circumstances. But take that year away, they feel very much like we do. Now, he's a better defensive coach, but they still feel like things stagnated under him. That's why when people talk about Bud, Doc Rivers coming here, those are all basically the versions of the same goddamn person. It's just that we have a different view on them because we saw them win with their franchises and they weren't here with the Chicago Bulls. So that's what I think. That's where I think how it boils down to. Reginald Short says, Chris Dunn ain't a scrub. He's injury prone and he lacks 3-point shot, but he has an above average IQ and is an excellent defender. His outside shooting, though, sucks. I will say this. I don't think Chris Dunn has amazing basketball IQ. I think he is amazing defensively. I think that he can put the ball on the floor sometimes, but there's a reason why he doesn't average a lot of assists and hasn't for his career. Is because I don't think he has a high basketball IQ. I think when he's kind of forced to be a player that passes a lot, you're definitely going to get some stuff out of that. But you look at it, like he had 2 years in Chicago, he averaged 6 rebounds per game. He averaged 5.6 with Portland in 2021, but that was only 14 games. And we know the offensive weapons they had there. But then you look at his turnovers as well. He averages every year that he's had a high assist number, he's also had a high turnover ratio. So I don't think Chris Dunn has a super high basketball IQ. Defensive IQ, yes, but he's not a terrible player. I think that, yeah, injuries limited him, but also lack of growth. He just didn't grow much as a player. But I think at the bare minimum, Chris Dunn could be a defender that comes off the bench for you and can do some passing for you. So, it is what it is there. Haize, what do you think is Kurt Hungry as a coach? He's never been a coach, so I have no idea how to rate him as a coach. I will say that I am surprised he never got into coaching. I always thought that he would, but I can't rate him as a coach. He's never coached, at least to my knowledge. At this point, Haize needs to take himself up to the UC and apply for the head coaching position. He definitely do a better job than No, I wouldn't, because I don't have the patience. I'd smack the shit out of somebody. Day one, practice one. It'd be like the Chicago Bulls have hired Haize as their head coach. He was hired on December 5th, 2023. 4 hours later, the Chicago Bulls have fired head coach Haize Johnson on December 6th at midnight after he open hand slapped Patrick Williams after Patrick Williams decided to go up for a weak-ass layup. That's what it would be. I would last 24 hours, bro. 24 hours. That's all I got. What would the Bulls look like with Mike Conley on this roster? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think the offense would flow a little bit better, but he's not going to make players shoot better. I'm with you, Haize. We need a coach that's probably on the younger side with the spine. Can't let a wishbone grow where a backbone. Ooh, that's a bar. That's a bar. Brian Scalabrine wants to coach. Listen, I'm not knocking nobody for their dream. And look, sometimes role players actually turn into pretty damn good coaches, right? Listen, I'd have to see it. I'd have to see it, man. I'd have to see it. The difference is Jerry waits for Billy Donovan's phone call nightly and curled up on the couch with his phone and hot milk tea. Oh, yeah, he'd be Billy, my boy Billy. What's up, man? Yeah, I saw that was a rough game last night. Yeah, man. Yeah. No, it's not your fault, Billy. Don't worry. Your job's absolutely safe. Don't worry. You want 3 more years on the extension? Hey, babe. Uh, go in the top drawer. Hand me Billy's contract because we haven't submitted it yet. The fans don't know how he's long here. Just go ahead and add a 3 to that number. You said he signed for it. It says 7 already. 7 years is the contract. Add 3 more years on the contract. Thanks, babe. Yeah. Hey, Billy, I got you, bro. You locked in for 10 years. You want a couple of more million? Hey, what's the number on that contract? 65 million a year? How much more you say you wanted? Add 3 more on there. Yeah, just go ahead and throw 3 more on there. Yeah, but don't worry about Billy's signature. We'll get it later. Don't worry about it. You say we need to submit it to the league? Fuck the NBA league. We'll submit it when we want to. He's gonna be coaching here forever. Bet. Okay, thanks. All right, Billy, we got you taken care of. Yeah, man, don't even worry about it. Yeah, go ahead and come to the house, man. We got a couple extra plates over here, man. Yeah. Hey, Mod, go ahead and put a plate in the oven for Billy. You got that? All right, yeah. The food it'll be hot when you get here. I bet. That's Billy Donovan with Jerry Reinsdorf every day. Every single day. That's just the way it goes, man. That's the way it goes. Open hand slap. Absolutely, bro. Imperfect Kingdom says hours later. Absolutely, man. I wouldn't last hours later. Coolest JB says, the fact you said slapping people who you already know. Already know, man. Already know. Happy birthday and RIP to Haize's job on his 36th birthday. That's hilarious. That's funny. You acting up tonight, bro. Listen, I'm tired. It is what it is. It's been a day. That's all I can say. It's been a day. Hey, Haize, I know it's early in the season, but I feel for the team tonight is a must-win game. Do we win tonight? Listen, every game is a must-win game when you suck. I don't know, man. I don't predict wins and losses. I refuse to do it because I haven't seen anything from this team that makes me feel comfortable in consistently trying to predict wins and losses for this team. So, I mean, I would love to give you that answer. Don't get me wrong. I would absolutely love to give you that answer, but I just can't. I can't. Someone is at the front door. What the hell is that? All right. You said they haven't submitted his contract. Is that good? I don't know if they submitted his contract. That's what makes it so surprising that we don't know the details on the contract yet. Is because you have to submit that to the league. So the fact that we don't even know, that's crazy. That's crazy. Dr. Jerry Buss should have bought the Bulls. At least he had vision and listened to his players. One of the greatest owners of all time. Listen. Jerry Buss is looked at as one of the greatest owners of all time because yes, he spent a lot of money, but he also put people in the right positions to make their decisions. And that's why I always say yes, ownership absolutely has a place, but it also comes down to having the right decisions, having somebody in the GM position that makes the proper decisions, the proper reads. So that's what it comes down to. The starters for tonight, same starters: Kobe, Zach, DeMar, Torrey Craig, and Nikola Vucevic. I love that. That's the most consistent thing the Bulls do. That's the consistency that we have. They release the starting lineup 30 minutes before the game faithfully. Faithfully, they do that before the game. So, yeah, there you go. There goes your starting lineup. The cap is fire. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. What's going on, Haize? Let's say we do decide to blow it up. Who do you think would actually stay after the trades? Bro, I have no idea because they can go a lot of different routes, right? They can go get the most assets back. That's move Zach LaVine, much like the Utah Jazz did. Once they did move Rudy Gobert, now both those players are under longer contracts, but once they did move Rudy Gobert, they decided to go ahead and move Donovan Mitchell, right? So the Bulls could initially trade DeMar, and then once they see what assets they get back, they can say, hey, listen, we don't think that we are going to be able to put a team around Zach at 28 years old, going on 29, that he's going to be able to compete here for the next 3 years. Let's go ahead and move Zach too while he's still young, while he's still under 30. Let's get a bunch of first-round picks back for him. And at that point, we have a starting lineup of, goddamn, shit. It'll be like Alex Caruso, Kobe White, Dalen Terry, Patrick Williams. Oh, God, that's a fucking lineup there. Just give me a fucking aneurysm right there. God damn. Does the league have rules on mystery contracts? Because they should. Like I said, you have to submit contracts to the league. Now, maybe they got away with not submitting it because he still had more years left on his current contract. So maybe that's why, but that's crazy. Haize, what's good, family? It's always good to be in the best Chicago Bulls stream in the world. Shout out to you, V.O. Walker. I appreciate you, brother, for coming through. Bulls win tonight, but the Suns rape us, so we'll be back to 3 games. So that's funny. That's hilarious. Yeah. Ricky says trade everybody over 25 and stock up every pick you can while also trading for younger players. Listen, that sounds cool, but that's too much like right because AK would be like, we traded Debo. We got 2 first-round picks back. So now we feel really comfortable. We're going to go ahead and move Patrick Williams back to the 3. We're going to start Torrey Craig. We feel really confident about what this team can be. Patrick Williams is going to get about 15 to 18 shots per game. Now we're going to get a really good look at him to see how he's going to evolve offensively. Billy Donovan's going to guide this new that's something that I fully expect AK to be able to say. Blowing it up should be a thought for the Bulls. We just need to make smart trades. Shouldn't be a thought. Listen, no, when your team is 50 and 70 since the February of 2022, no, it's time to consider it a little bit. It just depends on what you can get back. Just depends on what you can get back. AK must live in the projects because he sure does love draft. That's a bit racist. That felt racist, Tony. That's what that felt. That felt racist. So, especially when talking about the city of Chicago, I am going to go ahead and report you. Al Sharpton will be at your door right in a little bit, and the ghost of Martin Luther King is already on his way to haunt your loved ones. And I pray for your soul. So there you go. There you go. They ain't got to blow it up, but they got to retool. Seriously, a retooling can work. It absolutely can work. Last year we had a problem with slow starts. This year we're losing intensity in the end. Can we even play 48 minutes? We play 48 minutes. We don't get 48 minutes of heart though. Like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But all right, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream. I love you guys, man. I'll be back at halftime. Make sure you guys stay tuned in. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel, man. See Red, go Bulls, all that good stuff. And I'll be back at halftime. Love you guys.